Hi, my name's Carly. Welcome to your back and bicep sequence on a Pilates Reformer. Reminder, you don't have to have the same machine as me to follow me through this series. All right, so we got back and biceps today. I'm gonna go the heaviest spring load that I have. I'm taking my cables at the back of my machine and then laying my spine down on the carriage. From here, just bicep curling up and down. Getting that big bicep curl, squeezing at the top, almost like I'm gonna tap my shoulders, and then release out extra slow, taking extra time right there where it's sticky, right there where it's spicy. If you wanna add a secondary working muscle, it's either your core by taking your knees to tabletop, or it's your glutes with a hip bridge. I'm gonna stay here with my hip bridge, my pelvis rotated forward, my hips lifted, pressing strong into my heels. Just my bicep curl here. In 10 seconds, we're at our challenge point with our elbows bent to 90 degrees. We hold in 5, in 3, 2, and 1. Hold. Now lift your fingertips up, peeling your triceps off of the machine, off the carriage, and then drop everything back down. Try to keep that 90-degree hold. Everything wants to kind of open and release here. We'll go full range, tap up first in 5, in 3, 2, and 1. Tap up first, full range of motion. Marching if you have it, or just staying in your hip bridge or your tabletop with your feet, whatever you want to amplify that secondary muscle there. Let's go 10 seconds, elbows to a 90-degree hold in 5, in 3, 2, and 1. Hold. Now rock forward and backward. Little rock forward and backward. The lights decided to change the mood a little bit on me. We'll go full range, tap up first in 5, and 3, 2, and 1. Tap up first, then slow release. To amplify, you can keep your triceps peeled off the machine and just continue with your bicep curl with everything lifted up. Or keep everything pressed down a little bit nicer. We're coming to a seated low row. In 10 seconds, sit down, cross your cables in front of you. In 5, in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we're taking it to a seated low row. I'm crossing my cables in front of me. I got my feet out in front of me. I'm sitting kind of at the back edge of my carriage here, still with my heavy spring load on. Drive my elbows back, pulling my shoulders back, like I'm squeezing my scapula behind me. And then slow release, but never locking out your elbows. We don't want that full release. Squeeze using your back to drive the movement. I like to unhook my thumbs so that my biceps don't try to get too involved here. Hinging back on my tailbone, belly button is pulled in super tight. 10 seconds, we drive all the way back to our furthest point, hold. In 5, in 3, 2, and 1. All the way back, hold. Now pulse it back, release forward. Really try to snap the pencil right behind your shoulder blades there. We'll start to swan arm, keep everything back in 5, in 3, 2, and 1. Swan arm, lift up, drop down. Lift up, drop down. Adding on a high row in 5, in 3, 2, and 1. 1 high row and 1 low row. Swan arm in between. You might feel that it's a little bit harder and a little bit heavier in your high row than your low row. Just take it slow. Option to remove springs to make this lighter, a little bit easier. But we're really strong with our back, so we should be able to still push a heavy weight here, pull a heavy weight. Good. Let's hold back in our low row. One more time in 5, in 3, 2, and 1, all the way back. Now pulse it back, release it forward. Pulse, release. We'll drop the low row, just go high row in 5, in 3, 2, and 1. Drop the low row, just high row. All the way up and back. Elbows come up and back for this one. Still hinging back on my tailbone. I got my heels together, my knees are apart, almost like a little diamond shape in my lower body. Drive it all the way back and hold in 5, in 3, 2, and 1. All the way back, hold, shoulders out of your ears. Now pulse it back, release it forward. Back, forward. 8 seconds, full range to finish. In 3, 2, and 1. Full range of motion. You can add on your low row to alleviate some of that stress from the high row, but try to keep a consistent movement as we finish here. We're dropping down springs in 15 seconds, coming into a single arm tabletop bicep curl. Let's go medium spring load in 8 seconds, dropping the left cable, keeping the right cable. Medium springs in 5, in 3, 2, and 1. I'm actually going to do this on my left side first so that you can see me a little better. I'm coming to a tabletop position and just using my bicep to curl. Single arm for this one. We're only going to do this once on either side, so feel free to start with either your left or your right. You may want to start with your least dominant arm. Just your single arm bicep curl. I'm in a tabletop position with my opposite hand down on the carriage. Option to float your opposite leg. If you're not ready for that yet, we'll get there about halfway through. 10 seconds. Elbow comes to a 90-degree bend. You just hold. In 5, in 3, 2, and 1. Just that hold. Now lift your elbow up and drop it down. Lift up, drop down. When we go full range, we'll float our opposite leg in 5, in 3, 2, and 1. Full range, float your opposite leg. Last 15 seconds, then we're switching and we're doing the other side. In 10 seconds, switch, other hand, other cable. In 5, in 3, 2, and 1. Other hand, other cable. Remember, we're only doing either side once. Good. All right. So now you can see the opposite side of my body. If you're floating your leg, it looks like this. Pulling back and up with your heel. Still curling with your bicep. My back is flat. My abs are tucked in tight. If you know vacuums, this is a great time to hit a vacuum. I'll show you what it looks like. We'll take a sharp breath out. We'll pull our belly button in and our diaphragm up. See how my core is super tight? Internal corset activated. It'll naturally release as you start to breathe naturally. I'm going to hit another vacuum. 10 seconds, 90-degree hold with my elbow in 5. In 3, 2, and 1. Hold. Now my elbow comes up and down. Up and down. Fingertips are still shooting towards the floor. I still have that 90-degree hold in my elbow. Trying not to let my lower back dip. Micro bend in my elbow, shoulder out of my ear. I'll float my opposite leg, go full range in 5. In 3, 2, and 1. Floating my opposite leg, full range of motion. This is how you finish your back and bi series. You got 15 seconds. Dropping out of this in 5, in 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Per usual, you know that I have other classes on my channels if you want to hit a little bit of core or maybe lower body. I'll see you there.